Okay, so we've gone through handling our JavaScript files using Babel loaders. We've gone through handling our style sheets using the style loader, the CSS loader, and the Sass loader with a Dart Sass implementation. Now what we want to do is we want to use the Webpack Dev Server to serve up our page with our CSS that's compiled, and then our JavaScript that we'll use to serve within our complete bundle. So what this dependency does, it allows you to use Webpack with a development server. This is a plus for instances where time is of an essence and you need to get an application running quickly. Let's just say, for example, you're a part of a hackathon, right? And you need to create a minimal viable product in such a short period of time. This is such a game changer when it comes to times where you need to spin up a server and get your product going in such a rapid amount of time. It isn't really native to Webpack, so it needs to be installed. There's several options that are available for the web server, such as hot reloading, port management, and you can also even use it against your local IP address. So say, for instance, you want to test it from your iPhone or from a tablet, you can actually run this server against your local IP address. In the case of our application, we're just going to do hot reloading and assign a port for the server. Okay, so what we need to do is just install the dev server. So let's just do an add Webpack Dev Server. Okay, so now that's done. And in our scripts file, what we need to do is add that as a command. So I mean, we could take either one of these. So let's just do let's do this one, right? And we're gonna say let's just do web server. And then we do a Webpack Dev Server. And just be mindful that the dev server is only for development and it's not for production. It's only just for testing purposes. So just be mindful of that. So now let's see if we run our dev server using our web server command or script. All right, so now if we move over to port 8080, so what we're seeing here is that it's running our web server, but there isn't an HTML file or anything to serve up our bundle. So in this case, what we'll need to do is use the HTML Webpack plugin. And what it does is it generates a HTML file that we can use to serve up our bundles. You can create your own template, or you can just use the default. And I think once we get past this piece, it'll be a good time to talk about extracting our style sheet. So let's go ahead and install. Let's turn off that. Let's go ahead and install the HTML plugin. Okay. And in our configuration file, what we need to do is we need to call this plugin for it to work. And the way to do that is you'll need to set it within the plugins property of your configuration file. So what you want to do is set your plugins within an array, and we need to instantiate this plugin. So for this configuration, we'll just, call it a HTML plugin, or we could just call it web plugin just to be consistent, and then require it HTML plugin, right? And what we'll do is we'll just say new HTML plugin, and then if we run it, let's see, we don't want to run it. Well, let's try it as web server and see if it'll generate my HTML for me. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to port 8080, and there it is. So now we have our HTML being served up with our CSS style. Of course, this is a black screen. So if we go in, this is definitely confusing me, but we'll work through it. So if I change this, let's just say I change it to blue, right? And then my CSS, this is causing it to not write properly. Boom. So blue, right? Now when we go back into our config, we can actually configure this to act on a different port. So to do that, there's a property called Dev Server, and then within there you can add a property called port, and let's say we want to serve it up on 9001, right? So I'm going to turn that off. And then now you can see that it's being served up on 9001. Let me just refresh that again. Sorry. And then we can move over to 9001. And then boom. All right. Same thing that we're doing with the CSS, we can also do with the JavaScript. So for our case, let's just let's see. So we can just do a hello message. So I'll just create something real quick. Found hello message. Let's see, document, create element. It always takes a minute for me to kind of like think some of this stuff through, but once you get the hang of it, hello world. Boom. All right. So I can go back, and then there we go, our hello world. And with the dev server, the hot reload happens by default. You can still go in and set it as an option, but like I said, with the dev server, the hot reload is automatically taken care of. So I can go in here and I can add a style if I want to do something inline. All right, so I could do style, and let's do margin top. Oh. And then I say, I don't know, 10, let's do 6 rem, and then we do a hello message style, color, let's just do white. Right, see, pretty simple, right? And that's how you do any type of web serving. One thing to be mindful of is that a lot of our styles are actually being served up using the style loader, and then you can actually see here where the style tag has been injected using the style loader. I think in our next video what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the mini extract CSS plugin, and that'll allow us to extract all of our CSS from the style tag and put it in its own dedicated CSS file. So I think we'll stop here for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to extract your CSS, and just be sure that you subscribe to this channel if you like this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks.